Um. Oh. Okay. I think we're live. Maybe. Um. Am I? Okay. Hold on. Easy way to check. All right. Hold on a second. Um. You are okay. Cool. Hello. How's everyone doing? I was just about to go over to my YouTube and look at it. Thank you. Let me get some music playing. I gotta close so many tabs. Hold on a second. Close, 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 close that. Close. I'll keep that one open. Yep, yep, done, done, done. Holy crap, how many tabs do I keep open? Hello, world. Hello. Okay. So the only annoying thing is with my window manager, I can't seem to bring the chat view over to my actual. Maybe, hold on. No, I can't actually. Oh, I can kind of bring it over here a little bit. I mean, I could just probably. Yeah, no. I know that's on purpose. Um, yeah, I'm only showing my code here. Okay, how does that look on your guys' end? Yeah. Well, it's just not even OBS Studio. It's just my window manager. Because I'm using. No, I don't want to put it. No, stop it. It's being a pain. There we go. Okay. Is that looks fine, right? I believe that should look fine. Uh, Sorry, it's been a while since I've streamed. Okay, that looks okay. That looks acceptable. All right. Um. All right. Cool. Let me get some music for myself, so I don't go crazy talking to myself. Spotify, come here. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, did my headphones just turn off? Oh, what the hell? Did they turn off because there was no audio? That's some bullshit. Lux and Luma? Lux and Luma? Lux is your language, right? If I remember correctly? Also, yeah, I'm about to make the Discord announcement, like, in a couple minutes here. Why did my headphones turn off? That's annoying as hell. Will you turn on? Hello? Ow.
Not 16 by 9. Yeah, I know. Um, yeah, no, the black bars are just because, like, on my actual side, I have my OBS open, and then I also have my terminal open. So, oh no, Lox is the crafting interpreter's language. Oh, that's right! I forgot about that. So, okay, so what I'm thinking here is that we're gonna have two different files.
Alright, you know what? Headphones can go off. It's gonna annoy me. 1 second. You have to see. Sorry, the chat delay is so bad. Also, is the mic quality good? Is everything okay? Oh jeez, I forgot what it's like typing on a split keyboard here. We don't take in any parameters for main. Turn int. Turn 0. Leave exact key button. Nope. Hello? Oh, it's that one. There we go. The terminal plus OBS slow. Yes. I mean, I can show you guys. It looks kind of weird, even on my end. Hold on. Let me create a new scene. It's kind of funny, honestly. Display capture. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Windows 10. Hello? There we go. So this is what it looks like on my end. Let me fix the transform here. Transform. Except it's more like this. This is what it looks like on my end. The Bluetooth audio is better with headphones. Switch back to this one. Nope. The background audio is better with the headphones, I think, but the voice sound is slightly better without. So IDK. Okay, yeah. I guess we just say screw it. I mean, I have these headphones actually. Let me use these ones. They're wired. Should be fine. Put OBS on a new virtual desktop wall. I can't really do that. I mean, I could just turn off my window manager, honestly, but I like my window manager. It keeps everything organized for me. How often are we gonna leave the Luma and move to C to fix LVM bugs? Probably pretty often. Luma is written in C, so if we run into I should click my knife. If we run into LVM bugs, which we currently have right now in the compiler, there is a weird bug that I think I made when trying to fix something with the module system and bugs, or with structs or like struct types, custom data types, be represented across multiple files, to where it slows down the compiler speed. So we're gonna see really slow compile times today, which kind of sucks, but I mean, hey, I guess it is what it is. Can I not copy this? Or can I copy that? I should be able to. I can't copy that. That's okay. So, yeah, I guess we'll just go without headphones for right now. I was going to GitHub real quick. Repositories. Hello? There we go. I don't know why my thing wasn't responding there for a second. Also, how bad is the stream delay? I feel like the stream delay is pretty bad. Like maybe 10 seconds? I want to guesstimate. That's the standard library. I don't want to go into there. I'm going to go into here.
So we shouldn't get the parachute pants? These are making a comeback.
That's what I want.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide, based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Okay. Sorry, I did not feel like pushing, typing all these. So, what we're probably going to implement today is our halt. We're not going to implement equals, less than, or jump, or unconditional jump. 0 second after minute. Okay. We're going to implement print, the addition here, push, pop, and halt, and neg. I feel like is what we're going to do today for the VM here. And dots. Alex. Alright, so that should be all we need for the moment. Control WV. Let's open up this, and let's open up our common over here. We can close our terminal. Cool. So roughly 28 seconds delay. Good to know. All right, that's good to know for me as well. All right. I should next time make it so that it's not so delayed. Probably be a good idea. We'll just use it as com, I guess. Don't mind the errors. The LSP is complete shit that I've made. They can't properly find the modules, which is a little annoying. I think I might know what's going on with it. I just haven't fixed it. It's not a major priority of mine. Alright, so I guess the first thing we need to do is create a public function. We'll call it create VM. Alright, so what are we going to take in? We're going to take in the VM, right? This would be a pointer to the VM, and I believe that's all we're going to take in here. Alright, yeah, we should just be taking in the, actually technically here, no, we don't have to. We can do something kind of fun. Let's return an instance of the VM, and then let's create a, basically like a constructor here, where we return the VM. And let's do it like this. We're now our stack. First, let's do our SP. So we're going to set our SP to -1. We're just setting it to -1 to represent that, hey, there are no current values within the stack. And let's then set the PC to 0. And then let's just do our stack here. All right, so here this has to return an allocation, right? Because we're allocating memory. Returns ownership. Okay, so we want to cast to a pointer to an int where we alloc the size of VM times, just do 255, 256. Right, okay. Let's also now do the program. Hello, what's up, Pi? How you doing? All right, so let's cast. This will be a pointer to bytes, where we alloc the size of bytes times, I believe, let's just do 1024. Except what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these two global values, global constants. That way if we need to represent them later, it gets easier. Also, that, yeah, thank you. It's helpful sometimes for finding some bugs. What did you expect? Expected after... Oh, okay, yeah, no, I did fuck up there. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to find anything because I'm stupid. Let's call this stack base. Base, which is an int, where we are going to set this to 256. And then our const program base, which would also be of type int, where we're going to set this to 1024. And then down here, what we can do is say stack base and then we can also do the program base as well. So the reason why I'm doing it like this, expected semicolon after const declaration. Oh, yeah. Why is stack size of VM? It should be size of int or just the allocation. That you are correct. Yeah, you're correct. I'm just yeah. You are absolutely correct. I'm an idiot. Thank you for catching that. There we go. Prefix the ops with OP if they're in a namespace. Just because, I don't know. They are prefixed by a namespace anyways, so you could technically just say OP or just push pop add. I just see habits, I guess. I'm very specific with how I do it because in C you don't have namespace, you could just call the opcodes or the enum codes by default. So I just have it, possibly. But, I mean, we could do that. I think the copied and pasted from C where enum classes are not their own namespace and they are global. Yeah. That is correct. Actually, you know what? You know what we can do? Because that is a completely valid point here. We can control alt V, right? Yeah. We can do this just to make it so, because we do have to call this through namespace when we actually get to our program or our VM execute command, because right, we have to loop through all of our opcodes that we have. So yeah. All right, so the next thing to write here would be our free, right? So this would be takes ownership. We're gonna say free VM. This we're going to have to take in the VM instance, right? Because we don't have the free. And yes, we're gonna return void. Say free VM dot stack, and then free VM dot program, and then let's set the VM dot sp equal to 1. And then let's set also the program parameter, so the PC. Oh, sorry, this would be -1 because we're representing an empty stack. Shit. There we go. And then let's set this one to 0 because the program count would be 0. All right, that should be these two functions done. Right. Yeah. Okay, so the next function that I want to write here, I guess we would start to have to write our execute function, right? So we want to loop over our program. Okay. So let's do that here. Oh shit, I went too far. All right, let's do that. So let's say pub const VM. Actually, we can just say execute. That seems right. Right, and here we're going to take in our VM instance, which is a pointer to a VM, and we would return void here as well. Right? Yeah. Return a pointer to void. Also, if the music gets annoying, let me know. I will change it. Thank you. I apparently cannot spell. Alright, so the first thing, our loop. Because we have to loop through all our opcodes here, so let's set... what's a good name? Guess just OP. Our OP here, which would be of type byte. Bytes. Sorry, if I keep looking down, I got a new keyboard, so I'm trying to learn all my keybinds for it. It's kind of confusing the fuck out of me, but we're getting it slowly. Loop through our program, right, and then we will index this by our VM dot PC, our program count here. Just make sure. All right. Right, and then on each loop here, we're going to say that the VM.PC, if PC is equal to VM.PC plus 1. All right, and now here comes our big old switch case, where we're going to switch on the OP. Okay, cool, that crashed. Lovely. So let's write our default case, right? So when we don't have anything, should implement the VM before the compiler? Should you implement the VM before the compiler? So it depends. You can always implement the VM after, but if you want to get like a basis on how you want something to work, I feel like a VM would be good for quick and dirty stuff. So yeah, so I mean, in aspects of like designing a language, I feel like maybe if you want it to be quick development and possibly like get syntax structure oriented and correct, you could do a VM because it is just quicker and easier. But compiler also, I don't know. That's a good question because with the VM, you can't really interface with the machine as well, right? It's harder to interface with the actual machine. This is true. It is more fun when it's dangerous. Another library that we're going to need is our standard library for I/O. As I/O. All right, so let's do this. I/O print. I believe it's error like this. We're going to take in an error. We'll just say unknown. Known opcode. Unknown opcode. Yeah. Boom, and then we'll just \n here, comma, And so print error takes in an array of 256 integers here, but we don't need to pass in one. We could just pass in 0, and we would return out of this as well. Boom. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, there is our first one here. All right. So one thing that we also have to do is, because we're switching on based off of integers, not based off of characters or bytes in this sense. So we need to actually cast this to be of type int here. Boom. And this is why I was talking with my friend the other day about enums. I believe it was Dirk T or Pi. It was somebody. I'm trying to remember the name. But allowing enums to be represented by different types. So enum could be an int, but it could also be represented as a byte. So then enum would store its int representation and also its byte representation. I was thinking that it would be a good idea to do it that way, just because it allows more flexibility, and then you don't have to cast it, which would be fun. But I have an idea of how we could do that. We could just store it based off of the type checker. Do it that way, maybe. But it all just depends, I guess. Sorry, I'm reading Discord messages. I think I got pinged. Also, is the music quality and stuff good? Is that too high, too low? Everything looks fine on my end. I can't really tell. Cool. Alright. So I guess the first one... Well, I guess now let's set up our main file. Since a week ago, optimizing and perfect volume. Okay, cool. Oh, hi, Dirk. Cool. Awesome. I just don't want it to be too loud. So we need to import common and VM, right? Because yeah. At use common as com, right? Yeah, that's what we're using over here. And at use VM as VM. Switch is a keyword. Switch is a keyword. It's just the my highlighter for it for NeoVim, I believe, does not have switch in its keyword database. So, because I think when I wrote that, I wasn't originally. I think I was trying to use match instead. So, just a little bit of LSB issues. Was lazy decrementing the stack pointer for a pop in place value pops, etc. Ooh, interesting. Let's VM, which is of type VM, be equal to VM create VM. All right, and we don't take in anything. Go. And then what we can also do here is defer the freeing of this VM until the end of scope, and it would be VM free VM, where we take in a reference to the VM. I can't say VM there, so we're gonna say V here. Alright, so I guess what we can do now is run this through Valgrind here. Clear. Let me make sure I have Luma global. I do. Okay. So it's main.lx -l. Do you have to do annotation types? Are you talking about like casting? Or what do you mean by it? I can't read apparently. Do you have to annotate types? Oh, so like cast one type to another? Yes. So Luma, this is something I'm kind of struggling with because are we importing? Yeah. -l common. So this is something that I'm a little bit struggling with, is because I don't want to hide compiler magic. I want you to be able to, yeah. So for variables and stuff, yes, there is no type inference, right? You do have to declare what type it is. And for casting purposes as well, yeah, X has to always be annotated. Sorry, I had work this morning, so my brain is like a little fried. VM.lx common VM. I believe VM also includes /IO dot LX as well. Dash name made. Okay. Yeah. Shark VM has no member program. Did I spell it wrong?
Hi, this is Alex Kantrowitz. I'm the host of Big Technology Podcast, a longtime reporter, and an on-air contributor to CNBC. And if you're like me, trying to figure out how artificial intelligence is changing the business world and our lives. So each week on Big Technology, I host
the non-void function must return a value.
And outsiders trying to influence it, asking where this is all going. Places like
This should be fine.
Amazon. So if you want to be smart,
because it returns the pointer to void. That should just be a normal void.
Right here on Spotify.
Okay, no compile time, free VM found. Did mark it as public. There we go. Cool. So now let's run valgrind. And let's do it with main. Awesome. Cool. So we are freeing the memory properly, which is a good thing. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I guess what we can do now is come up with a text example here. Oh, another really cool thing that you can do, or that Luma, you can also prefix it. So like if you want to generate all of the like LVM bindings and stuff like that, if you do, I believe it's dash save, or is it dash save? Yeah, it's dash save. You can generate leader E. There we go. You can generate the LOVM IR and also the assembly that's generated with it, which I find is fun to do. It's very useful for debugging purposes as well. All right, so I guess the first opcode that we should probably increment here would be push. So that way that we are able to actually push to a stack. So if we say common, or com, sorry, opcode push, right? Boom, boom. I can pull up the assembly up on the side if you would like. I guess we can call this function push, right? And we need to take in the VM, right? Yeah, push should need to take in the VM. Yeah. Takes in the VM and our value here. Okay, so this is kind of where the fun kind of begins, because what we have to do is we have to convert our int here to a binary representation. So there's actually a couple of different things we can do. We can't just wrap this like this, because we need to convert our whatever value we're pushing into a representation. So we need to wrap this in like this. Boom. All right, so let's define awesome. So let the value, which would be of value, be of type int. Really think about it. All numbers are already in binary representation. This is true, but I mean like full on like converting it to a binary representation. So like casting from 0 to 8. Let me pull up my notes real quick, because I did write notes on everything, but knowing my dumbass, I'm not gonna remember it. Where is it? There we go. Yeah, so what we're doing is we're basically going to be pushing the next 8 bytes as an integer and push that onto the stack is what we're trying to achieve here. So the way that we do that is by doing this. Gonna get a little stupid here, but it's fine. Logical OR, I believe it's this, yes. So we're going to cast to an int our, one sec, where we pull out, if I can get the right tab, the vm.program. We're going to index this. This one? Yeah, there we go. And I believe then shift this over by 255. Yeah. Done. Or then this is the wrong way. This needs to be like this. Where then we say +0 of the vm.pc. No. Here. +0. Right? Yes. And then we're going to increment by 8 every single time for 7 different values. Right. Yeah. Alright. Let's copy this. Because I don't feel like typing that out 7 different times. 0. This is gonna get annoying really quickly. Control Shift V. No, okay. Yes, I'm using my mouse. I don't remember the keybind to paste in Vim. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, cool. I believe they should all be incrementing. Sorry, it's not like that. It's incrementing by 8. So 0, 8, right? Because we're 16, 24. Pace is capital P. Thank you. 24, 32, 48, right? 40. Yeah, 40, and then 48, and then 56, right? Because 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Yeah, Vim gets weird. It's kind of fun though. I enjoy using Vim, but I don't remember some of the keybinds, so then I use my keyboard, and then I get yelled at for using my keyboard. It's kind of fun. Yeah, and then now we need to increment the VM dots. I believe it should be the PC, right? Because we're incrementing by the we're incrementing the program counter here. Should be equal to the VM dots PC plus 8. There we go. All right, so that's our opcode push here. So now what we actually have to write is the actual push logic. This can be a private function to the class. Const push, or to the function, or module. That's the word I'm looking for. So what we're going to take in here is our VM, which would be a pointer to the VM, right? And then we're also going to take in our value here, which would be a pointer, or no, just an integer, and we return void. What I eventually want to do is when I implement templates, I do want to make it so that value here could be of any type, and it doesn't matter what we're pushing to the stack. But for now, because I don't want to deal with void pointers and casting issues, we're just going to use integers. That would be something fun to look into, maybe like down the crafting interpreter's book with how he implements the values. That could be an interesting concept to go down and look at, I feel like. All right, so every time that we push, right, what are we doing? We need to increment the stack pointer. So VM dot stack pointer is equal to the VM dot stack pointer plus 1. Boom. All right, our next thing that we need to do is we need to actually push this value onto the stack. So now VM dot stack is going to be equal to the VM dot, oh no, VM dot stack indexed by the VM dot sp, our stack pointer, is going to be equal to our value here. Boom. And that should be it for that one, right? Yeah. Cool. Obviously, we would have to do air handling, but I'm not too worried about that at the moment. All right, so that should be push. Let's also write pop while we're here. So we want to remove 1, and then we want to pop back the stack pointer, or get rid of the last known stack pointer. So we need to take in our VM pointer to VM, which also returns a void as well. Actually, no, we don't want to return a void here. We want to return an integer because we want to return the result of what we're powering here. So result RESUILT, right? Because if we pop off a value from that stack, we want to be able to see what that value is. So of the VM dot stack indexed by the VM dot sp. Thank you. All right, so that should get our current stack, or not a current stack, but our current piece of the stack, right? And now we're going to say that the VM dot stack pointer is equal to the VM dot stack pointer minus 1, and then we are going to return that result. UILT. There we go. Boom. I'm not confident in that spelling, so I'm just gonna say res. There we go. All right, and now pop should common opcode pop, and we should just be able to call pop where we pass in the VM. All right, that should be for that one. All right, another one that we need, obviously, is our halt command. So right, because we need to be able to stop the VM from running. So when it reaches its end, so halt. And what we would do is we will just return TURN. Boom. Okay. So we have push and pop. So let's now add in a print. So I'm going to do this here. Right, so opcode. That way we can see when we actually push a value here to the stack. Print. All right, so when we print, we're printing out integers here. So we want to use our print. Yeah. I'm gonna pull from the stack. So we want to say IO print. We're printing out a %d. Connor, are you increasing stack by only 1, but yet you are inserting 4 bytes worth of data into it there? You are increasing the stack by only 1, yet you're inserting 4 bytes worth of data. Am I not incrementing the stack correctly? I should be. Because you are correct. We are inserting 4 bytes into here. I might have typed something wrong. Yeah, no, it should be because the stack pointer is pointing to the location. Yeah, so that should be correct. That should be fine, unless I'm just going crazy here. Because it's incrementing based off of when we push. So if we haven't pushed anything, even if it's 4 bytes, because all the stack pointer is pointing to its location. Maybe it should be more reference to the stack count. Maybe SC is a better term for it, because we're indexing it based off the stack count. Maybe that would probably be a better word here. If I'm speaking nonsense, call me out, please. Pointer is raw data, raw bytes. Yeah. So you're talking about aligning for that raw data and raw bytes? Possibly. Not in it, which is 4. Yeah. Int. Yeah. VM dot. Stack. Nope. Bytes as in just. I'm saying increasing like the decrease in the stack pointer by 4 or only push and pop signals bytes. But otherwise this will not work. I'm pretty sure this will work. I see what you're saying. So you're saying increase the stack pointer by 4 instead of by 1, correct? I hate stream delay. It's annoying. Unless I did do something. Because that's +1, right? Hold on, I'm looking at my, because I did pre-write code for all this, just to make sure that I do everything correctly. So hold on, let me look back at my other code here. Yeah, v.sp +1. Yeah, this should all be fine. We can test it right now, so let's push something to the stack here. Oh, we do need... Okay. Before we can do anything, we do have to create a write int function, which writes the value to it. I hate this function. Pub const.
You say you'll never join the Navy. That living on a
Taking in the program.
too hard. You'd never power a whole ship with nuclear.
Fuck. I hate my keybind. Program, which is a pointer to the byte. We're taking in, we need to take in our value, which would be of type int. And we're also taking in the program count.
You're a Cummins diesel owner. You know
Be
the truck is
8.22
worth more than just any truck. It's the workhorse that keeps you going. That's why protecting your Cummins diesel is so important. Complete emissions recall 67A and get a free warranty extension worth thousands. Plus an exclusive Cummins gift. It's quick, it's easy, and it's protection that keeps your truck going for miles and miles. Visit
Okay,
CumminsRecall.com
so
to schedule your appointment today. That's CumminsRecall.com.
we're going to return a void as well. So now we need to loop I, which is of type int, which is equal to 0, where I, because we need to convert it to 8 bytes, is less than 8. This plus I. That one. There we go. Where we dereference the PC. No. Yes, in the fact that we dereference the PC, but it's with respect to the program itself. And then we are going to cast this to a byte where we're then going to shift to the right of I times 8, because we're incrementing by 8 every single time. This needs to get wrapped one more. Evaluate that against 255, so a stack. And then we are going to say PC is equal to the PC plus 1. Okay. That should be it for that. Yeah, so we're converting, that's to convert the integer into 8 bytes. So now let's write a value of 10 to this. So we need to create our program counter here. So let's PC be of type int, which is equal to 0, where then we would say v dot program indexed by the PC response is equal. And now we're going to make an OP push. So we cast to a byte of the common opcode move. Push. There you go. Alright, and now we want to write an integer to this push. So now it would be VM write int, take in our program, so our v dot program, take in our value here, let's write, I guess, 10 to it. We can't write 10 directly because it needs... No, we can write to them directly. Yeah. And then we need to then pass in our PC. So then a reference to our PC. Alright, and then v dot. I'm going to just copy this line again. 2 more times. Copy. Paste. Let's copy this line. Copy. Paste it. We'll say print, and then we will call halt. Okay, so we have push, print, and halt, and now we need to call execute VM. So VM execute, where now we pass in a reference to our VM. That should be everything. Except for we got errors. Undefined identifier val at line 64. Line 64. Oh. Change that to val. Give that a second. And if we run /main. Cool. It works. And let's just val grind this, make sure we don't leak. Boom. For Alex for freeze. Awesome. Cool. There we go. Alright, there is our very, very basic VM. I think what I want to do now is also, what time is it? It's 10:05. Alrighty, cool. I think what I also want to do now is implement, let me just clean this up a tad bit here. No. What else should we add? What are you guys thinking? Add addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication? What do you think? Also, what are you guys thinking of the syntax so far for Luma? Trying to also do this to get opinions on syntax and everything. I want to push another, let's make sure that the stack is actually expanding here too. And let's push another value. Let's push, I guess we can push value 70. Annual hue. Alright, let's do it. Let's just recompile this real quick. And just to make this quicker, we're going to do and /main. Also, Luma syntax looks like C, which I guess is both good and bad. That's fair. Oh, yeah, obviously we're going to just print the last one on the stack. That would make sense. Let's also print the first value here as well. I'll read those in a second while this compiles. Because C is everywhere, but also is recognizable, and there are namespaces. Well, no. Yes, there are namespaces. Awesome, so we are pushing to the stack properly, so that's good. We see 10 and 70 up there. Alright, let's do add. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a universal, like binary, const binary, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to take in a function. We have to take in our VM, right? So this would be a pointer to the VM, and we would return void. No. You can't just return void. We also need to return, or we also need to take in a couple different things. We need to take in as well our opcode, right? Because that's what we need to switch upon to make sure that we are correct. Okay, so then that should just be a character. So then our opcode here, right, would just be a byte. And we return void. Now what we're going to do is let's get b first. So right, we want to get b, which is of type int, right? Gonna say is equal to the pop VM. And then we say let's a, which is of type int, be equal to pop VM as well. And then what we can do is switch on our opcode here. Boom. So now what we would have is we'd have plus, which then we could just say return a plus b. Then I'm going to copy this again here. Plus minus, yep, cool. Control Alt V, no. Control Alt V, thank you. Shift I. Alright, so the next one would be minus. Now this does matter. We need to put B then A. Right? Multiplication doesn't matter. So we can just put A or B. Right, this would then change to a minus. Then this would change to multiplication. Division would be the same as subtraction, so it would need to be B or A. And then this would be boom. And technically we should be not returning but pushing. Control V. Control Alt V again. Shift I. Push. And then take in the VM and our value. Boom. Awesome. So now let's then say before, so let's print these out, but then let's now do a VM copy this. Boom. One more. Boom. All right, let's do, what should we do? Should we add these numbers or should we divide them? What do you guys, what expression should we perform on them? I'm curious. What do you guys want to do? Binary instructions. There we go.
You say you'll never
We have our opcode here, and we're gonna say add. Say binary. We pass in our VM and our plus. That is not a plus. That is a plus. Then do multiply because why not? Then do sub and div to see if the operand order works. So you're saying multiply 70 and 10. We push. So we would have to add more to the stack then, because what we're going to be popping 10 and 7 or 70 and 10 off of the stack and replacing them. So what other numbers do you guys want to add to it then? Then while you're typing, let me copy this 3 more times. Copy. paste, paste, paste. We'll do minus star divide. Let me come over here real quick. What did I call it? Did I say div? Div. div. Molt. Mol. And sub. Oh, shit. No. Alright. Random number. Jen tells me 157 and 237. Alright, cool. We'll push those two other values. So you said, what was it? 157 and 237. All right. And then you're saying let's push molt. Copy this. Multiply. Let's multiply, because why not? Then do sub. And then you said div. Okay. So we have multiply, sub, and div. All right, so we're going to be multiplying. Let me grab a calculator so we can see what our expected value should be. Go here. So we're going to be multiplying 237 times 157. Then subtraction, right? Yeah, then subtracting that by 70, then dividing that by 10. So 3713 is what I guess we should see here. Ah, fun, Stack Overflow. That makes sense. Wait, does it? No, we should be able to write 157 to that, no? Unless we're not converting it properly over here. Or is this this is probably another issue. Is it with our conversion values here for pushing? That's not good. Idea. Very, very bad idea. Let's add more. Times 64. So I wonder why that issue is happening. I'm kind of curious. That shouldn't change. Yeah, that's gonna fuck everything up. Right, because we're basing it off of an integer. Interesting. I don't know why. Oh, this is kind of fun. I'm presuming it's because of the way that we're doing this here. Not specifically that, but the way that we're writing in here. Yeah, because we're saying to comparing against 255. Am I shifting it the right way? Shifting to the right. Yeah, this is right. What's the, can we go up to 100? Where do we lose accuracy? Okay, so we can do 100. $150, I feel like it's gonna be too much. Yeah. So 120 writes fine. So what about 130? Interesting. So 120 works. What about 125? Let me figure out where the max is here. I don't know why. Wait. This isn't within the bounds of 255, right? Yeah, no, this isn't. Yeah, because it's masking by 7. Okay, so Control V. I did ask the clanker because I was lost. I'm sorry, but it is correct because we are not keeping it within bounds of an unsigned integer, which would cause it to not work correctly, I believe. Or not of the same type. Oh, did I not do it correctly? Oh, yeah, I didn't do that correctly. Hold on. I'm sorry. I was really confused. Yeah, because that goes to that one. And then, so this needs to be wrapped like this. Right, because that one goes to that one, then this one shifts it. I believe. There we go. Yeah, okay. That was the issue. So let's set this back to 70 here. $37.13, yeah, that's correct. Awesome. Okay, so give me. I want to understand what has a bit 7 set values 128 causes directly to an int. Shifting might cause sign extension issues. To make sure each byte ensures it stays as unsigned value. So at least from what I'm gathering, it's converting it from a signed to unsigned. And when we're not comparing it or masking it essentially to 255 or keeping it as an unsigned range, it becomes very very fun. Yeah, and the values were working because they were all 7-bit values. Anything that was above a 7-bit value wouldn't work. So that's fun. Alright, so that's good to know now. Cool. I don't see everything else seems to be working fine.
Hot on the Case is a true crime podcast that focuses on
Cool.
unsolved mysteries, deep dives on infamous cases, and
Uh,
sharing the story of each.
I wanna-
and every
what-
victim.
It's one more
Every
thing, I guess, that we could
episode
add.
to the spine-chilling details.
Guess we could add negative, right? Because that should be pretty simple. That's just a unary value here.
Tell the whole story. I'm Brianna Heim, and I'm hot.
Const
Watch now on
neg.
Spotify.
Or technically, let's call this a unary, right? Because it's a unary expression. Why do you cast a value that has been converted to a byte implicitly via to an int? So with Luma, we don't you can't implicitly just infer that, because the value here of vm.program is a byte, right? So we have to convert that byte or that character into an integer value in order to work from it. You can't just implicitly use a byte and compare it to an integer value. That's why we have to run that cast on the vm.program here. Because you can't just implicitly work with it. You have to specify what you want it to do. It's a trade-off for, I guess, not really bloatware, but boilerplate code, because now you're telling the compiler exactly what you want it to do. It's not trying to infer based off of how you're using it. Because ints are nicer to work with, in my opinion. I don't know. You could convert it to a byte, I guess. Store it as a byte instead. I just like working with ints, personally. This is going to be the same setup as up here. I'm going to copy this. It's not working. Peace. There we go. Working with bytes would probably be easier to do. Just gave me an idea for an optimization in my own compiler. Hey, well there you go. I'm glad I was able to help. Yeah, I'm gonna end the stream once I get negatives working real quick. Because I do have to go over to my girlfriend's house. I just want to kind of get this setup going. Should take me like 2 seconds, not even. I appreciate you joining along with the stream and asking questions. Thank you. I'm gonna try and do this more often. I want to do more of this. I think the next stream I want to do is like debug tracing, or stack tracing, sorry, and possibly just fixing any bugs that we have within the program currently. Like that one, I didn't know that one, which was actually not in my test code that I wrote. Unary. We pass in the VM, and then we pass in our unary sign here, which would be a minus. Alright, so we're just going to pop one value off the stack here. So let A be of type int, where then we say, oh, fuck. Pop VVM. We're going to switch on our OP again. Nope. Right, and now we would do this. And now we would push the VM and do neg A, or negate A. Boom. And that should be all for unary. Cool. And now let's test that by converting, not that, come over here, by converting it. Copy these two here. And let's do neg. So now we should see negative 3713. Awesome. And then let's also just run valgrind on this as well to confirm that we are not leaking any memory. Which we are not. 14 Alex, 14 freeze. Cool. So everything is working as expected. I might also try and switch to the arena allocator. That would be kind of fun. Allocate towards the arena instead. But yeah, so next stream I feel like I want to try and maybe clean up some code a little bit. I feel like it's already pretty well cleaned up, but clean up some code, maybe push this to be stored in a vector instead, read from a vector. Definitely do some debug tracing, so stack tracing. That way we're able to see what's going on with it. What else? I feel like that's probably it. We'll see. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for coming along if you're still watching. Yeah. What are your guys' thoughts on the language though before I end? I'm curious to see everyone's views on it. What y'all think? Shift Alt 5. That works. Just gonna leave that there like that. Alrighty. Well, I hope you guys enjoy. The Discord link is down in the description as well. Also is the GitHub link as well if you want to take a look at the code. I'm going to update that fix for the pushing of integers and probably writing and probably getting them so that doesn't have that 7-bit issue again. But I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I'm going to head off now. And yeah, have a good night, guys. Or day, wherever you are. It's nighttime for me.
You just